portfolio pathway, you have to start as early as possible. It's not an easy process because just imagine that you have to just show your experience as per the CCT or a trainee of UK for 5 years or 6 years. So it is a long process. It is, and I feel that the most important bit is that when you organize your documents and when you submit it to the GMC in the application, format. So as an assessor, I would say that we are not getting anything, any penny for, assessing the applications. So that would be very helpful that the evidence is as robust as it can be. I'd say it multiple times, and very obvious kind of that I don't have to search for. Sometimes I do have to search for. I have done multiple applications till now, assessed, and I must say that there is a variety. There is a variety of how the documents are processed, how the documents are dealt with, and how they are presented. So I am sure that we all have loads of experience from our home country, from here in UK, if you are working over here. So I'll try to brief, and it will go on for multiple sessions, I believe. And so if there is, at the end of the sessions, if there is any question pertaining to this session only, please let me know. And then what you want for the next session, like you can just please DM me for, like, direct message me for that. Housekeeping rules, again, please keep your mic mute and webcams off, and use the chat box, or please raise the hands if you want to ask any questions. All the questions are most welcome. Disclaimer is that this is just a general information. It's not to replace or substitute any guidelines from GMC or RCPath. So please refer to those. These are 4 documents which you must read before thinking about even portfolio pathway. So these are SSG specialty specific guidelines and histopathology curriculum 2021, associated syllabus, and supervised learning events. So you will find those in Royal College website. It is previously known as Caesar pathway, which was a certificate of eligibility of specialist registration, and how it differs from that. So over here, they say that you have to demonstrate relative knowledge, skills, and experience. And difference is that you can go beyond 5 years, and it doesn't require the demonstration of equivalence to the respective CCT curriculum. So we can touch on that also later on, because many of the things are still similar. And CIPs are capabilities in practice, which are outlined in histopathology curricula. So because the histopathology curricula is like 2021, it's kind of same. And so most of the evidence is mapped against the curricula. And the requirement for those things remain the same, because people do say that autopsies and the pediatric and rotations and neuropathology rotations. So we will come to that later on also, but those are still, I think, kind of required. They say that you may not present it, but in the end, because KSE or portfolio pathway says that breadth and depth of curriculum. So if you are missing anything from curricula, so it's like, one way or other, you have to submit that. Okay, so SSG's new specialty guidance sets out evidence that doctors will need to provide to apply in histopathology. Portfolio, it shows more flexibility and better able to identify, especially the overseas, our experience, if someone has done work overseas. And second most important, which I would say that bit for the KSE is that, our portfolio pathway is that the last 10 years will be accepted. So small amount of older evidence will be considered. And however, I would say that don't go, please, more than, try not to go older than 5 years. But if you want to go up to 10 years, that's again fine. And try not to, again, if there is very relevant experience, which is over 10 years, it can be included. For the exam, I would say that FRC Path and or a very robust specialist. So unless and until you are sure of your, if you have some postgraduate examination overseas and you are sure of that it's very robust, then only apply for CSER, because again, it's not a cheap, it's not a easy, it's not a short pathway. So FRC Path is the kind of the not mandatory, but it's the best way to go forward. There is application template. We will touch upon that later on also in next session or maybe the session afterwards. So you should map your CIPs. So I find it very useful if there are, the summary sheets, or if there is a cover letter, or if there is a, the index page at the top or front of your evidence. So, and when you give reference, also at that point, one CIP to other CIP, you can just give a summary sheet that this belongs to this page. So before you start or at the start, they say that at the start, but I would say that rather before you start, contact GMC, speak to GMC specialist application team. I would again advise that see the, like, for example, I am putting this video. So when I applied, it's like now been quite some years. I had very few, guidance or videos, but still I remember that on YouTube, one of the surgeons, they had put up that how to, organize your CV according to GMC. So that was very helpful. So afterwards, I literally had to call one person and second person and ask about that, how to do this. And I called GMC also, and they are usually very, very helpful in that. But only thing is that sometimes it takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of, so you have to give this time, your application process. Because in the start, you should know that what are the deficiencies for your experience, and then you should focus, and please put a timeline for that. Because if you say that, okay, I'm deficient in some, certain type of rotation or certain type of subspecialty, I will do that later on. For example, medical renal or medical liver or anything. So don't think that, the person or where you are thinking that you will do rotation in specific trust, they will be available at that time when you want to do it. So you have to be very organized from the start. You have to be, another suggestion, and this is very important. I should have put up a slide for that. That put all your evidence in a cloud-based, storage, where you can access it everywhere. Start from putting the folders, major points, which I'll share later in this session. So put the folders and start putting, once you've got a letter for teaching, feedback for teaching, something like that, or some conference or some poster presentation, just drop it in that. And in the end, you can organize that and see what is deficient, what are the requirements. So keep one. So if you are able to understand, for example, Apple Cloud, or for example, the Drive, so those, please put it over there, because it happened to me. I was, I did it in one of my personal laptops, and it broke, and the screen broke, thankfully. And my son had to, attach some other screen via some other, so it got saved, my evidence, but I had almost a heart attack when I, afterwards I tell everyone, please, because I was storing it in the Drive, Google Drive, but I was not updating it over there. I was updating on my laptop. So latest things were not there in my Google Drive. So keep your evidence in a Drive place, please. Okay, and so start early, seek guidance, and be very thorough. Don't take it easy. It's again a long, expensive, and very, sweaty process, I must say. So today's session is focused on how to write the CV and submit, and I would say that this should be the first step, because over here now, when you go forward with this session, you will see that how it will show you if you are deficient in certain things. So submit an up-to-date CV. So start writing your CV if you are thinking of applying for portfolio pathway today. And it must contain all the roles and titles till your primary medical qualification. And you just said that you did training more than 10 years. I also did my training more than 10 years. So it doesn't matter. It was, so you have to map that back and formatting your CV, number each page, use bullet points and include a short description for each item. I will give example for my CV. There is one more thing written in GMC that your first name, your title should be written on right upper side or only S. Harun, something like that. And first is your initials and then your surname and number each page. This is very important again because, and I would suggest that use an index page also. So I'll show you the example later on. I think I shared it in the group, but I'll over here share my example and it will be uploaded for the video, recording. Okay, so your CV should contain everything and all the information, dates, titles, durations of employment, rotations. And if it doesn't meet, because one of the most common objections from, not from Royal College, I'm Royal College assessor, from GMC is that your, duration or dates are different. So from your CV to what you uploaded on the online application, because in online application, again, you have to give your employment history. So keep in mind that all the employment letters, dates should match. And this is very simple thing, but I have seen many, so it will be wasting your at least, I think, 4 to 6 weeks extra if you just make a teeny mini mistake. And your name on CV again must match your name on your proof of ID, and your contact information should match your details in GMC. So those can be updated if you have, changed or something. Okay, registrations, give your GMC reference number and details of any other medical regulators which you are registered with. So for the past 10 years, if you have registered with any, other regulatory body, you need to give the good standing certificate. So if you have been registered with any medical regulatory bodies in the last 10 years, yes. So PMC, for example, Pakistan Medical Council good standing certificate for the last 3 months. So be sure that when you are going to apply for your application, you should be able to get, because I know that some regulatory bodies can give you online, but some can, and when I applied, it was like just post-COVID. And I was really, it was kind of difficult for me to get from Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. And no, not from GMC. If you are registered from GMC, then you don't need to give the GMC because they will be having that record. So good standing from GMC is not required. List your memberships of professional bodies. I missed it actually. I didn't give all the memberships of all the professional bodies which I was part of. Again, I will give you an example, but please be thorough with that. List all your qualifications, like medical qualifications, whatever. Even I think non-medical, you can have that, like management or something, because people have done in UK. I've seen BBA or something. So yes, good standing from overseas is needed. If you have worked in overseas in the past 10 years, it is needed. And that's why I'm saying that because I worked in 2 different countries, so I had to get from 2 different countries. And that was like, again, the COVID era and all those things. So, okay, so employment history, post health, and start with the most recent work from backwards and from the date. So this is again important. Most recent comes first. And don't change your overseas post titles to match a UK title, please, because again, it will come as an objection. And posts held, please use the exact title which you were employed under, and dates. Again, dates the format should be this day, month, and year. And if it was part-time job or post, what was the percentage for WTE? And institution name and location is very important. Name of your supervisor if you are in training post, otherwise no need. And brief job description. So gaps in the employment and start from most recent work backwards. And list any gaps that span over 28 days or a month. And give the some description also. So how to explain gaps, and then all these things you have to do it in the CV actually. So I made a tiny star and I made the, yeah, Dr. Biswas, no, if more than 10 years you don't need if you have worked anywhere else. So just over, like when we give, register for GMC, we give the good standing for only past 10 years. But if it is like your training period was more than 10 years in that, then you need to give that also, because training is very important. So if training period is more than 10 years, and then you need to give the good standing, like just after training period, you got the regulatory body. So, and if you are holding the registration till now, again, second point is also this one, that for the more than 10 years thing, if you are holding a that registration till now, like it is active, or you have made it maybe redundant for a period. So some of the regulatory bodies do that, like GMC, you can give up your license and relinquish it and then get it activated later on. But you need to give your good standing for that period. So how to explain gaps, alternative employment, clinical attachments, vacation, study leave. So you can just, give. They are not really bothered about that why gap was there, but if gap is not, explanation is not there, then they do get bothered. So any awards, any research experience, any publications, any presentations you have done. So you have to, again, make folders in your portfolio pathway, I would say, primary folder. So subfolders should include everything from this. And just remember that for us, logbook is very, very, very important. So I believe that without that, especially if it is more than 5 years and you have got 5 years good breadth and depth of experience, then it's fine. But I would rather, not give a letter or anything to substitute the logbook. And for the logbook, just imagine it will be few hundred pages maybe, or few at least up to 100, how you organize that. So for that also, summary sheets are very important. That, what is the subspecialty, what is the type of specimen. So we will touch logbook next time, and I'll show you that how to organize your experience for different logbooks, for autopsy, for pediatric pathology rotation, for neuropathology, gynecytology, and your major one, histology, and histo and non-gyne cyto. Okay, so CPD, again, for CV and for otherwise, CPD is very, very, again, important, and don't underestimate its, value. And conferences, courses, so divide it as international, national, regional, or departmental to show the importance. So even if you are done, just outside your department, you can show it as regional. So that will give slightly more weightage that yes, you have done that. And audit, give list again, audit is mandatory. So one audit cycle, I'll touch that later on in future session, one of the future session again, that audit and teaching and training. So few of those things, and how to give your managerial experience. But one audit cycle at least complete, and minimum 2 audits should be there. Procedures, list of procedures, like if you have performed FNAs or skin punch biopsies or anything, and any extra activities. Okay, so there is a GMC online application screenshot user guide, and you can go over there. You will have a bit of idea, or I'll show you some examples of my CV, and afterwards I'll just take few questions, and the next time hopefully we'll go for logbooks and experience. So that's how I said, page number, contents, and so index page and summary sheets, not only for CV, for all the evidence which you are, giving. So if you are giving for, I'll show you later on that how to make summary sheets, how to make graphs, how to make, how to present. So that is, again, it's written nowhere, but it makes life easy, and it makes very less likely for the assessor to miss anything. And so this one is so about myself or personal, details, and then registration and licensing. So I did for Saudis, I did for Pakistan, so not required for GMC. And for professional bodies, that's what I was saying, that I missed few, but because I'm a member of Dermpath, and so I missed few, but don't try to miss. And if you see on the lower left side, page number is there. And so primary medical qualification, then specialist qualification, so FRC Path, and then FCPS. And then I had a postgraduate certificate in HPE, Health Profession Education. Then, so even if you have just FRC Path and your overseas qualification, that should be enough. No need for, don't get bothered about any other. If you don't have, that should be fine, completely fine. So, as a consultant, what did I do? Cytopathology, MDTs, quality improvement activities. So I give all the details for the post-health and then onwards. And similarly for the previous ones. And so as a consultant, as a registrar, as a whatever, so research experience, so my research interests, and then reviewer of peer, reviewed journals. So I'm some permanent reviewer for certain journals, and others sometimes, ask me to review. And then I put up my LinkedIn profile, ResearchGate, and Google Scholar. So that gives them, so research, they are not very much interested. So even if you have got some publications, that should be more than enough. One in past couple of years is more than enough. Even may it be a case report, because we are not applying for PhD and we are not applying for any research post. So that should be enough. But if you have got, I would highly recommend that if you have got some LinkedIn profile, ResearchGate profile, or Google Scholar profile, please add up that. That gives them, obvious thing that you have got some research experience. And then oral presentations. So I divided those as international, regional, and poster. Then poster presentations for regional and departmental, something like that.